As the demand for hydrocarbons is growing, the direction of oil exploration has moved to ever-increasing offshore depths and more remote land masses in harsher environments. To achieve successful hydrocarbon recovery from these challenging areas, oil and gas operators must take a holistic approach. That includes full life cycle engineering to ensure that oil and gas reserves can be developed, produced, and flowed to market in a safe and economically viable manner.
Too often, engineering is done in silos, with multiple disciplines responsible for a small slice of a very large project. The fact is, however, decisions made by engineers in one phase of a project impacts other phases, both before the taps are turned on, as well as years later when new personnel are inheriting these assets. The cost to remediate issues at the time of occurrence is far more significant than more sampling, testing, or planning early in a development project.
Assured Flow Solutions is a specialty engineering and consulting firm serving the upstream and midstream oil and gas industry. The company operates at the critical interface between what is in the ground and how to move it out of the reservoir to market.
We opened our doors in Houston initially to service the offshore industry, and in 2014 opened a Denver office to service the expanding onshore unconventional market. With our new full-service chemical testing laboratory we're building in Houston, similar to the lab here at Nalco Champion, we're linking the early fluid characterization to the design and engineering to ensure that we have a fit-for-purpose engineering solution.
AFS helps oil and gas companies worldwide with project delivery. The company integrates flow assurance issues into the total system design.
Projects vary in size, ranging anywhere from 1 to 2 wells that may be 100 miles away to systems onshore that could be in excess of 1,000 wells. So understanding the complexity of how these large networks interact with each other is critical. For the unconventional onshore plays, one of the key challenges is ensuring sufficient infrastructure and planning are in place to move the product and keep pace with the advances in drilling technology. And for offshore, due to the high costs and challenges in accessing the wells, additional emphasis is often placed on front-end engineering.
At the time of drilling an exploration or appraisal well, fluid sample volumes are collected to better understand the nature of the hydrocarbons in the ground.
It is important to analyze the fluid because it is the starting point of all engineering design that goes into an entire project. You see, when reservoir fluids enter the pipeline, they experience significant changes in pressure and temperature. And unfortunately, many components in the oil are not comfortable with these changes. They can solidify and cause blockage to the pipeline. And we need fluid analysis to tell us if it's going to be a problem for us so that we can better design our system to handle these challenges.
Fluid analysis is often the starting point for all engineering design that goes into the entire project.
Produced fluids come out in a variety of different conditions. You see in our first sample here, a light condensate that actually has a wax at the bottom of it. In another sample, we actually have a dark black oil, which is very common throughout the world. In the black oil, we can get precipitates such as the asphaltenes that you see here. Very solid, can actually cause blockages throughout the entire flow path from downhole all the way through the pipelines. Understanding the fluid characterization leads to a better understanding of how we should design and engineer the system as a whole to prevent these, or at least mitigate the issues once the field is producing.
AFS takes its findings from the analysis of the fluid samples and applies them directly into the engineering solutions it develops.
We not only analyze the fluids, but we also simulate the path the hydrocarbons take en route to market. This encompasses changes in topography, up and over mountains, across flat lands, or deep in the ocean. It also takes into account variances in climate and temperature. The goal is, through engineering, to design out as many potential risks or issues that could cause problems with flow.
AFS recruits top talent to deliver world-class engineering to the oil and gas industry.
Much of the workforce in our industry is aging and moving into retirement. So to attract and retain the highly skilled workers and educated employees that we need to continue the oil and gas industry, we've aggressively partnered with several universities across North America, namely Colorado School of Mines to service our onshore segment, the University of Michigan, Go Blue, who's done quite a bit of applied research in the field, as well as Memorial University in Newfoundland.
Through full life cycle engineering and flow assurance, companies like Assured Flow Solutions are helping to prevent pipe blockage and ensure uninterrupted optimum productivity in oil and gas streams.